There are places on this planet where the war isn't the most dangerous thing in the room. Helmand Province was one of those places. We went in expecting insurgents, IEDs, and maybe a bad day under the sun. What we found instead doesn't appear in any after-action report. And officially, this never happened. Alright, before we get into it, I need you to understand something. This isn't a ghost story. This isn't some exaggerated war tale soldiers tell to pass the time. This is a field report that was rewritten, redacted, and buried. What you're about to hear is the version that didn't make it past command. My name is Staff Sergeant Daniel Reeves, United States Marine Corps, 2nd Recon Battalion. This happened in late 2012, southern Afghanistan, Helmand Province. And I've kept it quiet for over a decade. Until now. Helmand wasn't new to us. By 2012, the province had already seen years of sustained operations, Taliban strongholds, opium routes, and scattered villages barely holding on to anything resembling normal life. We were attached to a joint task force operating near the Djinn River Valley. Our job was simple on paper: conduct a 3-day reconnaissance patrol along a stretch of territory flagged by ISR feeds, possible insurgent movement, maybe a weapons cache. Routine. We had a 6-man team. Myself, Corporal Jenkins, point man, solid under pressure. Lance Corporal Iqbal, our interpreter and cultural advisor. Doc Harris, Navy corpsman. Sergeant Alvarez, team lead. And Specialist Boone, communications. We stepped off just before sunrise. Standard loadout: M4 carbines, sidearms, NVGs, radio packs, thermal optics. Everything accounted for. Everything normal. At least, at first. The first 6 hours were textbook. Dry riverbeds. Abandoned compounds. Nothing unusual beyond the usual tension of moving through hostile terrain. We followed a narrow irrigation canal that cut through farmland long since abandoned. No livestock. No civilians. Just empty mud brick structures and the wind pushing dust through broken doorways. Iqbal mentioned something early on. Said the locals avoided this area. Not because of Taliban. Something older. We didn't push it. You hear things like that all the time in country. Superstition fills the gaps where logic runs out. We kept moving. It started with the silence. Not the normal quiet of rural terrain. I mean complete absence of life. No insects. No birds. Even the wind felt muted. Jenkins noticed it first. He stopped, raised a hand. We all froze. Listened. Nothing. You don't realize how loud the world is until it goes quiet. We checked our surroundings. Thermals showed nothing. No movement. No heat signatures beyond our own. But something felt off. Sergeant Alvarez gave the signal to continue. We pushed forward. About an hour later, the temperature dropped. Not gradually. Not naturally. It just dropped. We were sweating under full gear one moment, and the next, you could see your breath. Helmand doesn't do that. Not like that. Doc checked his thermometer. It wasn't broken. Temperature had fallen nearly 10 degrees in under 2 minutes. No cloud cover. No weather shift. Just cold. Iqbal stopped walking. He looked uneasy. That was new. He'd been through firefights without blinking. But now, he was staring at the ground. He told us we needed to turn back. Said this land wasn't empty. Said it belonged to something. He used a word I hadn't heard before in that context. Djinn. Now, most people think of Djinn as fairy tale stuff. Genies in lamps. Wishes. Stories. But in Afghan and broader Islamic tradition, Djinn aren't imaginary. They're considered real. Ancient beings. Made of smokeless fire. Invisible, but capable of interacting with our world. Not inherently evil, but territorial, and very, very old. We didn't take it seriously. Not then. We should have. We reached a cluster of ruined compounds just before dusk. That's where we saw the tracks. At first glance, they looked like footprints. But they weren't human. Too long, too narrow, and spaced too far apart. Like whatever made them didn't walk the way we do. Jenkins crouched down, studied them. No boot pattern. No animal claw marks. Just smooth impressions in the dust. And they were fresh. We scanned the area. Still nothing on thermals. Nothing on motion sensors. But the tracks continued, straight through the compound. Through walls. Not around them. Through them. That night, things got worse. We set up a perimeter inside one of the compounds. Standard procedure. 2 men on watch. Rotating shifts. Boone started having issues with the radio. Static at first. Then bursts of sound. Not voices. Not interference from other units. It sounded like whispers. Layered. Overlapping. But not in any language we could identify. Iqbal refused to listen. He covered his ears. Said we shouldn't acknowledge it. Said that's how they notice you. Around 0200, I was on watch with Jenkins. That's when we saw it. Not clearly. Not fully. Just a distortion in the air. Like heat shimmer, but darker. Moving against the wind. Slow. Deliberate. It stopped at the edge of our perimeter. And it stayed there. Watching. I don't know how I knew that. But I did. Jenkins raised his rifle. Didn't fire. Because we had no target. No rules of engagement for something that didn't exist. We woke Alvarez. Quietly. No panic. No shouting. We repositioned. Adjusted our perimeter. Switched to IR optics. Nothing. But we could feel it. Like pressure in the air. Like standing too close to a thunderstorm. Doc reported nausea. Boone said his ears were ringing. Iqbal started reciting something under his breath. Prayer, I think. Then the temperature dropped again. Faster this time. Our breath turned to vapor instantly. Frost formed on metal surfaces. In Afghanistan. In the middle of the night. The distortion moved closer. Right up to the wall of the compound. And then, it passed through. No sound. No resistance. Just, inside. Jenkins whispered, contact. But there was nothing to aim at. Only that shifting absence in the air. And then, it spoke. Not out loud. Not through the radio. Inside our heads. Not words. Concepts. Impressions. Territory. Intrusion. Warning. It knew we weren't supposed to be there. Alvarez made the call. We weren't engaging. We were leaving. Immediate exfil. No debate. No hesitation. We packed fast. Maintained formation. Moved out before first light. And the moment we crossed back over the canal, everything stopped. The cold. The silence. The pressure. Gone. Like flipping a switch. We reported everything. Every detail. Every anomaly. Command listened. took notes, then reassigned us within 48 hours. The area we patrolled? Marked as low strategic value. No follow-up missions. No drone surveillance. Nothing. Iqbal requested transfer. Denied. But he stopped talking about it completely. Boone's radio logs were wiped. Officially labeled as equipment malfunction. And our report. Heavily edited. Anything referencing the encounter removed. So what was it? Psychological stress? Environmental anomaly? Some classified atmospheric phenomenon? Or something older? Something that doesn't care about borders, wars, or nations? Something that was there long before we arrived, and will still be there long after we leave. If you've made it this far, you understand this isn't just a story. There are things out there that don't fit into reports or briefings. And sometimes, the most dangerous thing isn't the enemy you're trained to fight. If you want more accounts like this, realistic, grounded, and unexplained, make sure you stick around. Because this wasn't the only report that got buried. We were trained to identify threats. But no one ever trained us for something that doesn't need to be seen, to know exactly where you are.